Hello everyone, Storm11 here. Today we'll be taking a look into our next system and be kind of be going across from the plains all the way up into the northeast. And this storm system can be significant to at least for the northern plains, around the Great Lakes region, even the northeast. The warm sector, I don't see much of any chance of severe weather, so we don't really have to worry about that. With the system here, probably the main story with this here will be the snow that will bring across the Midwest, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. Now, let's go ahead and get started with the GFS model. This is what we currently got going on. We do have some flash flooding issues across the deep south, anywhere from portions of Louisiana all the way into Alabama there, which Jackson, Mississippi got tons of rain. I don't know how much exactly, but they were in a flash flood emergency earlier today. And this stationary front will push up north slightly. It does have a small chance of severe weather, but nothing really much to worry about that. Clipper system moves by across the Great Lakes region in the upper Midwest. Doesn't look like it's going to become much of anything, but here comes your system that's going to be developing just right over New Mexico and Texas here. And this low here will start to deepen as it gets into the plains there. Now, there's an area of concern that might be able to see an ice storm with this here. So I'll show you the GFS with its ice amounts in just a moment. But as you can see here, pretty widespread snows up north there. Doesn't really become much of a deep low at all either. So blizzard conditions looked unlikely this time, but there is possibly some flash flooding concerns across portions of Texas and Oklahoma as well. We got to keep an eye for those guys there as well. And it could be windy along the warm front too. So there might be perhaps slightly some blizzard conditions, wind and snow. But it can also be windy in the Ohio Valley as well. And there goes that system there. And let's move on. Well, let's take a look into those snowfall amounts by the GFS model. And as you can see here, we could probably see snowfall amounts probably up to 14 inches in most spots here. Kind of pretty widespread snowfall amounts, anywhere from basically 5 inches to up to about 10 inches of snow. Pretty widespread. Now, it does include sleet. So, for these areas here, I don't know if they, like Missouri and Illinois, I don't think you're going to see 7 or 8 inches of snow because it includes sleet. That's actually mainly a mix of sleet and freezing rain. That's something we're going to have to focus on. There's even some snow for Texas Panhandle again there as well. But again, pretty widespread an event there. The CMC solution here, kind of similar here. I think this has got a pretty realistic look on this here. Most of the snow from the CMC looks to be up to the northeast, which is pretty reasonable to me. I think it's a little bit accurate with some isolated snowfall amounts up to 18 inches in a few spots. Meanwhile, in the Great Lakes region and the upper Midwest, probably up to a foot of snow, maybe a little bit more as well. And we do have enough hours to look into the icon model as well, kind of similar as well. So there's a pretty good agreement of what could happen here. And the icon has more realistic snowfall totals because it does not include sleet or freezing rain. But I still don't think it's not really accurate for most, especially for small snowstorms. It's not accurate at all, but for these type of events, it's a little bit more accurate to use. But let's take a look to those rainfall amounts very quickly as well. Let me move this mic really quick. There we go. Um, so here's the rainfall amounts. You can see here, probably anywhere from 3 to 4 inches of rain, anywhere from portions of Texas all the way up into Illinois there. And that's where we could see possibly for some flash flooding issues for some of those areas. We could take a look at the CMC model. Pretty spotty in a few areas here. You can see a few areas might be able to reach up to 4 inches of rain in a few spots. but I think the bullseye is pretty much going to be Texas and Oklahoma there. It might be able to go upstream into Missouri. I don't think it's going to rain this much for Arkansas there. I just do not really believe much about that. And we'll take a look into the GFS model here. And not too much rain here. You can see most of the rain kind of stands in Texas here, but we do know there's probably going to be a flash flooding threat somewhere in the Southern Plains, as that's pretty much what we know of right now. Let's take a look into the European model. So this is the high-res model. And as you can see here comes your low developing, kind of pushes up north. It's not really going to be too deep of a low, but you see here it does have some gusty winds there along with it. Seems like it's a little bit of a northern track as well. So for people that live in Northeast, you might be able to change over to rain, but just hope for some of that snow does stay, which I know of. Some of you guys up there did get record temperatures not too long ago and melted most of the snow for a good amount of areas up in the Northeast. So, unfortunately, the warm front's not going to be your friend on the system here if you like snow. If you don't like snow, well, the warm front is going to be your friend on this one here. Just from the European models, is what it's showing. Now, we have to look into a different website for this here because Pivotal Rudder does not have the snowfall on here. We gotta look onto a different website here, but you can see here does have widespread snowfall amounts up to about 9 inches. Some areas you can probably see up to a foot, as you can see there for Michigan, a couple areas up in the northeast there. So it's mainly going to be a widespread winter storm event. That's what it's looking like for right now. But I'm pretty sure after the system, some of these guys here, like in Pennsylvania, maybe even New York as well, even New Jersey, you might not be able to get much of any snow afterwards here because of that warm front that will bring in some of the rain and melt a good chunk of the snow. However, you go a little bit further up to the northeast, like Vermont, New Hampshire, and Maine, you might be able to get lucky with this one here. And the warm front might not be able to reach to your area. Let's look into those rainfall accumulations here. And again, probably a small flash flooding threat across portions of Texas and even Oklahoma as well. About 1 to 3 inches of rain. So this model here is probably the only one to have the least amount of rain. And let's talk about that freezing rain potential, the ice potential. Now, typically these models here overdo things here with ice. You can see here for the Panhandle of Texas, even portions of Oklahoma and New Mexico, probably up to a quarter of an inch of ice, which is technically a little bit significant there. That can cause some power outages, very slick road conditions there. As you get to central Missouri, you're talking about a little bit over half an inch of ice, which I don't think you're going to get that much ice, and also do believe it's going to be not going to be that widespread. I think it's going to be a little bit further up to the north and have a little bit of a skinnier kind of line. But again, I don't think you won't see about half an inch of ice. It is possible, though, from these models here. Now, this is the only model I could show you for freezing rain. And I do know the NAM family does have, I'm talking about the NAM and the NAM Nest up here, but this is 123 hours out, so it does not go that far out. There's probably going to be some ice up in the northeast as well, as you can see there. So my overall thinking here, this is just basically a rough draft. More than likely not going to be the final forecast here, but you can see here, we'll start off from west to east here. So at the beginning of the system here, probably up into Texas Panhandle, up into Kansas, there even for the Panhandle of Oklahoma. That's where we can see mainly mixed. So you can get some rain, you might be able to get some sleet, freezing rain, or even some snow for those areas there. Now New Mexico will get some of that action as well. As you can see there, for a good chunk of Texas and actually, I should say good chunk of Oklahoma and portions of Texas. We're gonna have some heavy rain at times. Flash flooding is possible. It seems like the models are indicating probably a streak of heavy rain that can go on for a good amount of time. That's the area I'm concerned probably for a possible ice storm as the system kind of moves a little bit more eastward. So you're probably gonna be stuck kind of along the warm front there for some of those areas. The ice storm threat is possible for those areas there. They'll more than likely kind of change. It just really depends where the track of the low pressure is going to go. It could happen a little bit south, it could happen a little bit north, or it could happen right there where I have it. We're just glad to see. Again, these reds here mean just a mix. This light green right here is rain and windy. There's also going to be a chance for early and late mix. Not going to be for Tennessee or Missouri. More than likely going to be for Kentucky, Indiana, and Ohio, even for portions of Illinois. Probably not an early mix for Illinois and Indiana, but more than likely issue more for Ohio and Kentucky there for the early and late mix. But unfortunately, it'll be moving over to mainly rain. There could be a mix later at the end of the system, but at this point here, uh, the snow chances are pretty low with this system here. And for us here around here, Kentucky, where we want snow, but there is some hope next week at least. Now, in this large blue area, I probably should include pretty much all of Minnesota as well. But anyways, this is the area for the best chance for the winter storm here. And even for the mixed area, I guess you could count that as a winter storm potential, most likely for this mixed area right in here as well. This is where I'm predicting probably possibly some snowfall amounts up to 14 inches. Now that's just possible, not the official forecast here, but some areas can probably see up to 14 inches of snow. I think that's a pretty good forecast. It is still a little bit out. The system begins its act together around Thursday, which is not too far away, but whenever it really starts to become big, kind of happens around Friday. And today, when I'm making this video, is Tuesday. I don't think I'm gonna really have a snowfall forecast on this one here. It's just if I have enough time for it. But anyways, here's the overall look for it here. Good news for the Ohio Valley, we're not going to see that much rain. Same thing for Tennessee Valley. We just have too much rain to deal with, and at least we're going to get well, we're not going to get a break from the rain, but at least for the flash flooding threat, it kind of just stays out. But it'll also be a windy day. Again, probably seeing winds gusting up to 20 miles per hour, maybe even 25 as well. Not going to be that windy, but that's probably the area predicted to have most of the windiest conditions there, as you're going to be in the warm sector there for those 70 winds to kick in. Now in the blue area, you can see some windy conditions, probably 20 to 25 miles per hour, but kind of falls into the category of a winter storm type of event there. But I'll probably have another updates on this tomorrow if I just have enough time or feel like it making a video. Just having a little bit break from the severe weather event. I've been live for a total of nearly 5 hours, so I'm just taking a break, a little bit of break from it. But anyways, guys, that's all for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this little winter storm update. If y'all did like this video, hit that like button. If you really do like my channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so you never miss an upload. If y'all guys got questions about this, you put in the comment section down below. I'll answer you guys' questions. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.